My name is Corinda Wong, and I've helped hundreds of families with trust sales and estate sales in Hawaii. I really enjoy helping families through this process. I've been in this business over 35 years, and I specialize in trust sales and inheritance sales. Before you sell your parents' home, you need to have these 3 conversations. Skip it, and the process could be a nightmare. Conversation number 1, roles. Who's handling what? Who's communicating with the realtor? Who's coordinating the contractor? Who's discussing with the attorney? Document it all in writing. Many of the transactions that I've done, that there are multiple siblings involved and they each want to take a role in it, it's great when we meet up front and we divide the roles because we don't have any conflicts. Some things get done twice and some things don't get done at all. And so there's this frustration of spending time and energy not in the right way. So it's great when we have a conversation and divvy everything up. Who's can handle what responsibilities, and it doesn't always mean it's equal. So just know that some people are just better at some things, some are better at others. And so the family is pretty good about deciding who should handle what, and it just saves time, energy, and especially frustration. There's so much going on already with the process. The more we can all be in tune working together, especially the siblings, it just gives a nicer feel through the whole process. Well, if roles aren't defined, what I really found is things just fall through the crack and it could be costly at the end. So if they aren't talking, it'd be a simple thing as 2 siblings hired 2 different landscapers to come clean and take care of the yard. We have one guy come on Monday, one guy come on Wednesday. He doesn't know the guy came on Monday. He does the work. We have 2 people doing jobs that only one needed to do because each sibling thought, oh, I'm going to take care of that. So it's just doing double things that don't need to be done. Conversation number 2, financial expectations. What's the realistic market value? What's the realistic time to be on the market? What are some of the expenses that could be incurred during the sale? And how are these expenses going to be split up? I think that's part of understanding the market value. That's why it's really important to understand that, because you don't want to overprice a home. Because typically what happens when you overprice, it stays on the market longer. The thought process some people have is like, let's just price high and see what they come in to give us an offer. You know, if we price high, it'd be better because then we'll get a higher offer. But in my experience, is the opposite that happens. If you price high, people are waiting for you to come down in price. And as they wait, days on market add up. Other people looking at the property, new buyers coming on the market say, oh, this looks like a nice house, but it's been on the market for a long time. I wonder what's wrong with it. That is what you don't want. You don't want to have a stigma on your house like it's been on the market for a long time. Oh, there must be something wrong. And if people start thinking like that, it just makes them not as excited to make offers, as opposed to pricing well, marketing well, get people excited to buy your house. They see other people excited to buy your house. The goal is to get it so you have multiple buyers who really can appreciate what your house is like. You've priced it well, you have it show well, and then you get it so quickly, and always the net is higher because we often get multiple offers, over asking offers when we price well, as opposed to when we do price over, the net later on does usually come out lower. There's the expenses of homeowners insurance that you might not think about, and a new policy might come up. There's all the general maintenance of the home. Things can break. There could suddenly be a storm and you have a major leak in the roof. There's just all different kind of unexpected things that happen. I've had some times where the family didn't even realize some of the bills were not being paid, like the water bills, and all of a sudden there's a huge water bill due and it's just gone for months, and just an unexpected cost that they just have to work through. Team Wong, we really pride ourselves on being able to price homes well. We spend a lot of time analyzing the property, analyzing the market, and in Hawaii, our markets are very micro to the neighborhood. So knowing each neighborhood really well and being able to price to that neighborhood and to that home is what we pride ourselves on. In helping clients with unexpected costs, there are times we've actually helped out the client because they didn't know that these costs came up. Families just can't handle it. We just need to do it short term. And we just help them with it so that we can help them get the property sold. So every situation is different, but we really try to help families foresee some of the costs, how to handle the costs, so that at the end of the sale, they've netted more, they've had the process go smoother. It's not an easy process when these unexpected things come up, but I found that every single time something comes up, we're able to talk through it and figure out a solution. And sometimes you have to be very creative. It just depends on the problem. So I have clients that I'm working with right now. There is a huge water bill from Board of Water Supply that neither one of them knew about. And we're about to go on market. It's like a $1,200 bill and they're going to turn off the water. We need the water on while we do this. And neither one of them are in a position to take care of the bill. So our team just foot the cost of the bill so we can make sure to close, and we'll just get reimbursed at closing. But that helps the family just move forward. Like I said, there's lots of little things that come up and every situation is different. And we just try to help out where we can to make it go smoothly. Sometimes I get the question regarding the financial, how funds will be separated at closing. And so I try to tell people it's actually already spelled out in the trust. The trust says who the beneficiary is and what the percentages they will get. So it's not like someone can say, could you tell escrow to make my check this way or add these expenses? All parties have to abide by the trust. The way the trust is written is how the funds will be dispersed. Conversation number 3, emotional readiness. Is everybody ready to let go? Does anybody need more time? What is going to happen to all the items before the home goes for sale? What items need to be removed before the property is ready to be shown? Honor everybody's emotional readiness. It's very common that people aren't emotionally ready in selling their home. It's a hard process. It really is. I think people who go through it and get everything ready and try to get it all, clear it all out, like I said, it gets exhausting sometimes to do all of this. But when they do it, I think it sort of prepares them. I always tell them it's a lot of work. And by the time they get to the end, they're emotionally ready to let go because they have done so much and have gone through such an ordeal to get the place ready. That is the process to help them let go. And you just got to allow them the time. It's been a family home for many, many, many years, maybe 50, 60 years. Kids, grandkids all have memories there. We have the place in escrow. It's the last couple of days before the property actually changes hands. The families will come and have a little potluck and just hang out and spend an afternoon at the house all together as a family just to help them let go. It just makes them feel good about bonding with the home one last time. Communication is truly important. I think the siblings need to communicate with one another so they don't end up in court. Because if they're not communicating with one another, it boils down to them going to court to figure this out. And that's the last resort everybody wants. So I think it's about having conversations and understanding each other's feelings towards the timeline, because everybody grieves differently, and that's the thought process that they have. It's really great to have other third parties in it, even like realtors or other people that you know of, because we're able to look at both sides and help each other talk it through. I've done that with lots of families and lots of siblings. They just each needs to be heard to explain the other side. It's just that they're all different. They feel like they came from the same family. They should all feel the same way and do everything the same way. The best way to deal with it is just full steam ahead, get it done. Others, they want to process through every item in the home. They can feel what it all means to them, and then they can let go, but they have to let go one thing at a time, and other people, they need to let go everything off at one time. So it's about finding a compromise, which truly can be done. If you communicate, you can find a compromise, but it takes being very strategic and having a clear plan of what that looks like so that it's fair to all parties. If it's a trust sale, the court will decide it needs to be sold. And sometimes I've had one recently where the issue was the two siblings couldn't decide on selling. The court had to step in. The way the court resolves it is each sibling had to put up names for realtors. The court has to look at all 4 resumes of all the realtors, and then they choose one that the siblings will work on. I have one that I'm working on now. The court has chosen me, and I'm helping the siblings get through that. So it does happen, but the interesting part is once they get to a point where it's clear that they have to sell and moving forward, it has been very easy to work with the siblings. I think there was just a lot of emotions getting to there, and I think it's all the processing of the emotion. Everybody processes differently, and just understanding that and communicating that. I would suggest removing almost all the items before the showings. What I recommend is having the home show ready so that it can be staged. If you're selling a home, you want it to look its best. So typically you remove almost all the items because they're personal. Sometimes there are pieces of furniture that are great that can stay for the staging, but sometimes it helps the family members just to do it all at one time. Go through the process of removing everything out of the home, making it just a blank canvas for the sale process to go through. Because it's really hard to keep the emotions as people are walking through the home and thinking about buying it for themselves, and you have things in the home that are important to you. So it's best to be prepared to remove everything out of the home. Bonus tip number 1, have these conversations with the neutral third party who is used to facilitating these types of conversations, such as a realtor who specializes in estate sales. It removes the power dynamics that siblings could have with one another. Sometimes it's easier to talk to a third party than it is the person that you need to work with directly. It just diffuses the situation and it allows progress to be made, and everybody's goal is usually the same, and it makes it easier to get to the goal because it's easier to communicate with a third party. Bonus tip number 2 is really important to document the process, what your plans are, and what you have agreed upon. If not, you can be under extreme stress, and then each party is starting to blame each other, tensions are rising. But if you have it in writing, you just go back to the documentation. These 3 conversations may feel uncomfortable, but they do prevent 90% of the sibling conflicts. If you live in Hawaii and need help coordinating with siblings, feel free to reach out to me. I have 35 years of experience, and I really have been able to help many siblings go through this process a lot calmer and end up good friends at the end and not enemies. You can reach me by linking in the bio below or call me on the phone number. Thank you.